Hey everyone, I'm going to start today's lesson by going over the prologue questions that you answered so that I can kind of explain a little bit of it. It looks like most of you understood it very well. Some people look like they took it extra time. Some of you, your quizzes didn't submit for some reason. Don't worry about it. 54 of you took this quiz. I have 61 responses. Everybody's going to get their grades for it. All right, so the first question I had asked was, how was Antigone and Ismene related to Creon? And Creon is their uncle. Remember, Oedipus is their father. So the next question in the story was, how did Antigone and Ismene's brothers Eteocles and Polynices die? And remember, they both killed each other in battle before the story began. All right, now Creon has decreed, he has made a law, that Eteocles will be buried with honors. Polynices will not be buried. He is left to rot out in the open sun for the carrion birds and dogs to feed on, which is very disrespectful because Creon thought Polynices was a traitor, and you'll see more about that in scene 1. Now, the punishment for burying Polynices was stoned to death. That means they threw rocks at you until you died. Antigone is the one that wants to break the law and bury her brother. And she gives 2 reasons for wanting to do this. She says she loves her brother. She also says that it's the God's law that demand that he be buried. That's another reason why she's doing it. She's showing loyalty to both her family and the gods. I'm going to talk about the real reason she does it in a minute. Now, Ismene, remember I told you she was the pretty people pleaser sister. She is too scared to break the law and bury her brother because she's afraid to go against men. And there's a great line in the play I'm going to show you in a minute that shows you this. All right. Antigone feels betrayed when Ismene refuses to help her. She thinks she's betraying her family. What reason does Antigone give for burying her brother? I've already said that. She loves him, and she says it's the God's law. And Ismene compliments Antigone and says she's being very brave, but she said shows loyalty to Antigone by saying, I won't tell anyone. But Antigone says, tell everyone. Now, I want to go over a couple of things in the play real quick. All right, so here's the prologue. I'm looking for a particular line, so give me just a second. All right, so one of the things we talked about last week was patriarchal society. Ancient Greece had a patriarchal society where women had to do what the men say. They were meant to be subservient to the men. And you see that here when Ismene says, we are only women, we cannot fight with men, Antigone. Not only does that show Ismene being afraid to speak out against men, it's also showing that patriarchal society. Now, I want to back up for a second because there's a really good line at the beginning. Here it is. One of the big motifs throughout this story is going to be loyalty and betrayal. And Antigone kind of throws down the gauntlet to her sister, and she says, and there it is. Now you can prove what you are, a true sister or a traitor to your family. So is she going to be loyal or betray her family? And we know at this point, according to Antigone, she's betrayed her family because she won't help bury her brother. All right, so your loyalty, betrayal, patriarchal society. I want to talk about one more thing about Antigone. Antigone, this is where she says here to tell everyone when Ismene says she won't snitch on her. She says, think how they'll hate you when it comes out if they learn that you knew about it all this time. And they go back and forth. But eventually, Antigone shows the real reason that she's wanting to bury her brother. And maybe she doesn't realize this is the reason she does it, but throughout the play, you're going to see Antigone's pride, her hubris, that's what the Greek called pride, and it was their biggest sin in their culture and their religion throughout the play. When she talks about doing it and how everybody will praise her for it, she's saying, and that she's going to die for it, She says, it will not be the worth of death, death without honor. She wants to die with honor and glory and with everybody praising her for what she's done. Now, the last part of the prologue is the parados, which I said y'all didn't have to read. In the parados, it is describing the battle between the brothers, because remember I told you guys the chorus describes all the action that takes place off stage. But there's a really good quote here where it says, "For God hates utterly the bray of bragging tongues." God here is Zeus, the king of the gods. And this is to show you that one of the big themes in the play is going to be loyalty to the gods. Excuse me for a second. Guys, my siblings are staying here with me and they're bothering me. So, as I was saying, this line, God means Zeus. For God hates utterly the bray of bragging tongues. Bragging is pride. It's that hubris. And this is a warning to the characters in the play that those who are going to be prideful will be punished. And that ended the prologue. So let's talk about today's assignment. First, you're going to watch the video you're currently watching. Then you're going to answer the daily attendance question, which is Doritos or Cheetos. And then you're going to complete the prologue analysis, which I have attached here. But I have also created as a class assignment here under Antigone prologue analysis. This will show up in your stream when it posts tomorrow. So it says open the attached document. So I'm going to go ahead and open it and go over the directions with you. All right, so you're going to choose to either answer these questions based on Antigone or Ismene. So like the first page is for Antigone, the second page is for Ismene. You only have to do one page, Antigone or Ismene. You do not have to do both. All right, so the directions for this: answer each question using evidence from the prologue. You must also include your own analysis of each question. Write incomplete sentences and cite each piece of evidence you use. It'll be Sophocles and the page number. Each question must have text evidence, except for number 4, and at least 3 sentences. So you're going to paraphrase Antigone's views or Ismene's, how they feel about the other sister, burying their brother, and so forth. You'll describe what they're doing, what's their attitude towards burying their brother, and then this last question is just a personal opinion question, but still make sure you answer in 3 sentences. When you are finished, you will upload it to Google Classroom. I will post videos that will show you how to do this. You will also need to make a copy of this before you can type in it. If you have any questions, just let me know through email, Remind, or Google Classroom. And this is your last assignment until March 30th. Enjoy your spring break.